gosh. Alright. I think that's exactly. Yeah. Yo, what is up folks? TrepTG here, and today we're going to be looking at Storm in Timeless, the new MTG Arena Eternal format. There's a bunch of tools to work with, there's a bunch of enablers, there's a bunch of ways to execute, but there are a few different things and some problems you can run into putting that together. And so this is what I'm working with at the moment, tools-wise. We have one ritual in the format, and that is Dark Ritual, which is a bit of a problem. We don't have a way to turn this black mana into other colours. For example, there's no like mana morphos, any effects like that, and it's the only ritual we have. We don't have like Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual, Seething Song, all the red rituals that you'd have in Modern. The Dark Ritual being our only ritual is a bit awkward, but it is of course amazing. Black, get 3 black. The best thing to do with this is Necropotence. There are a bunch of decks playing Necropotence in the format. One of the most powerful cards you can play. Black enchantment, you skip your draw step. Whenever you discard a card, exile a card from your graveyard. It's very important when it comes to things like Underworld Breach and Past in Flames, and like thinking, oh, do I need this later? But pay 1 life, exile top card of your library face down, put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. And you can do that a bunch of times. The best starts the deck has involve like Dark Ritual into Necropotence. Put this into play, draw back up, maybe do some other stuff as well, but this is the best start you can pretty much have. Of course, if you're doing this, you're using rituals on turn 1. And like the deck looks really, really busted when you have multiple Dark Rituals in your opening hand. If you can like Necro, maybe take some cards out of their hand, strip them down with like Thoughtseize, prep for like an Underworld Breach turn the turn afterwards, or well, a couple of turns in the future, you can do quite a lot. But you're not in a position where you can go, oh, ritual, Tendrils. And so Tendrils is the win condition. Target player loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. Storm, we don't have that many rituals, which is where Underworld Breach comes in. Underworld Breach, 1 red enchantment. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to its mana cost. When you escape a card, you don't exile from your graveyard, but you need to be able to exile 3 other cards. So we want cards in our graveyard to be able to exile things to Underworld Breach. If we have Breach in our graveyard and we have enough cards to exile, we can just go Dark Ritual, Tendrils for 20 or whatever. That's the dream scenario. And there are like iterations of that like work well. Like once at the point when you're not capped at like 4 Dark Rituals because of Underworld Breach, you can go like, hey, double Tendrils or go do some other stuff to make up Storm count. Okay, cool. So we want to enable Underworld Breach with rituals and Tendrils. You have a bunch of ways to kind of get to that. We have some kind of ways to just like fill up our graveyard and kind of find the cards we need. Faithless Looting here, Brainstorm here. One of the big engine cards here is Glimpse the Unthinkable, which seems a little bit weird. I mean, using this alongside founding the third path. Glimpse, target player mills 10 cards, that's just going to mill us for 10. We are playing some cards with Flashback, we've got like Striking Rich, Faithless Looting, we're playing Past in Flames here as a one-of. You could choose to play more, but I'm just playing one because we're not like all in on this. We're really trying to use Underworld Breach. And then we also have Founding the Third Path. So Glimpse mills us for 10, powers up Underworld Breach, finds us the cards we need in our graveyard. Because hey, if we mill through Dark Ritual, we've got it there to use a Breach. If we move through any of this stuff, we've got it there to use a Breach. Founding is really powerful in conjunction with some of these other cards. So 1 in a blue, and it's a Read Ahead Saga. The first step, you can cast into the sorcery with mana value 1 or 2 from your hand with pays mana cost. So one of the best things to do, like, hey, if you want to set up for a turn 3 Storm kill, you can go Founding, Glimpse myself, mill 10, and then set up for the next turn. The next step is mill 4 cards. This one's pretty simple, and the third step, which is in theory maybe the most powerful one, is exile target instant sorcery from your graveyard, copy it, you may cast the copy. So that can hit, like, hey, we're going to like get a Dark Ritual, we're going to reuse a Demonic Tutor. We do, of course, play the one of Demonic Tutor that you are allowed to. It's restricted, unfortunately. Otherwise, this deck would be, I think, significantly better. But then let's just recycle and kind of like set things up. Whether that be stripping our opponent's hand with Thoughtseize, whether that be anything else. Okay, cool. So Brainstorm, Faithless Looting to find your pieces. Thoughtseize and Inquisition. I'm playing a split here just because there are quite a lot of aggro decks floating around, but this is basically like, hey, I want to take your counterspell, stop you interacting with me, or stop your game plan if they're doing combo shenanigans. Strike It Rich is the only way we have to convert mana, and it only converts red mana. But we can play it early, set up for like, oh, we'll do this. If you don't have the Dark Ritual, you can turn to Necropotence this way, or set up, because it's the red end from your graveyard, if you've got Past in Flames or Otherworld Breach, it's kind of like, alright, I'm going to filter some mana in like a really roundabout way. And it's free Storm count as well, in that way, too. Okay, cool. The engine cards, Founding Third Path, Underworld Breach, Glimpse of the Unthinkable. The Demonic Tutor to find whatever you need in particular. Necropotence to kind of like redraw your hand. You're going to use a bunch of stuff on turn 1 to kind of like set up, and then you can redraw. Refill your hand back up to be able to go for Tendrils the turn after. The 4 copies of Tendrils of Agony, and then 1 Past in Flames. This is where I'm at the minute. There's a couple of cards I want to talk about that I'm not currently playing. There is Mizzix's Mastery, which is 3 in a red, target instant cast, basically cast target instant sorcery from your graveyard. And then it has Overload for red, and 5 mana, which is pretty expensive. And it casts all the instant sorceries in your graveyard. I did have a version that I was playing in Historic No Ban list that used this, but the real problem is getting to 8 mana kind of naturally is pretty hard. The real upside of that card is that you can play it with another card that I'm not playing, and that is Mire's Desire. 4 blue, excellent top card of your library, and you can cast it, but then that has Storm. Problems with both of these are making that amount of red or then blue mana. So our only ritual is Dark Ritual. It's possible to set those up, but it's quite hard for us to cast a number of spells before them in a turn and still have the mana required to actually cast them. We have rituals, but obviously if we're using Dark Ritual, we're not making blue mana. We can convert some blue mana with Strike It Rich, but like that's not generating us mana necessarily. And so there are different ways you can build a Storm deck, but this is where I'm at the moment. I'm probably going to do a couple of different iterations, so you can expect like a follow-up video in a week or two. The other thing we ought to talk about is lands. We are really base red back, splashing blue for Brainstorm, Founding, and Glimpse, which seems a little weird, but this is where we are. Let's be a little careful. People are playing Blood Moon, so I am playing the 1 basic Swamp, which is like, hey, that helps you Dark Ritual, which helps you Tendrils, etc., etc. You get the red sources, of course, from the Blood Moon. And the blue, after the first couple of turns, hopefully you've played all the blue spells you need to. Or, hopefully. You've got 12 fetches, which obviously are enabling Brainstorm, and helping us like find our colours. Fill the graveyard as well, for Breach, pretty important there, and like, hey, we get to filter through our deck a bit. 3 Blood Crypts, 1 Steam Vents, 1 Watery Grave, and 1 basic Swamp to find, for like the turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 1 Ritual, Necropotence, etc., depending on your land situation. Obviously, loads of things to kind of look at and chop and change around, and variations of play. And this is definitely something that's a work in progress. If you've got any ideas, anything you want to suggest, please do let me know in the comments as well. We're going to take this into some best of 1 ranked matches. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, first match here ranked with Storm. The other thing I should actually say is that it isn't that uncommon for an opponent to just concede when we start doing things. When it looks like we're going to win the game. Whether that be like, they might concede to turn 1 Necro, they might concede to us going like, our Underworld Breach and stuff in our graveyard, regardless of whether we maybe or maybe do not actually have the kill. But hey, we'll go ahead and keep this. We've got Thoughtseize to check for things. We've got Necropotence, even though we're not doing it on turn 1. Maybe turn whatever, given that they've Thoughtseized us. We'll see what they take here. They might just clear Thoughtseize for themselves. But hey, basic Swamp naturally is an interesting start. But it's really hard to kind of like get like a read on the format per se. We should Thoughtseize back. I'm going to fetch a basic here, just in case they're on something like red-black with Blood Moon. So, let's go ahead and do that. And there we have it. Okay. Shortdraw is the most punishing thing. These Bloodtree Thirsts are basically gone. But the Ring is like the card advantage engine, which combined with Shortdraw is the problem. I think the Ring is probably more dangerous, though long term, obviously, Shortdraw is going to be a problem if they get the lands for it. Oh, the other thing I didn't talk about is jeez, why can't I think? The other thing I didn't think about, we're going to Founding, Faithless Suiting here, I didn't talk about, is Bolas Citadel. The Bolas Citadel is a really powerful Storm thing you can do. I just don't think it's good in like a traditional Storm shell. It's really powerful if you have like triple Ritual on turn 1. I think I just want to bin the 2 lands, but I'm tempted to bring a Brainstorm. We have Glimpse for next turn, which means you could probably set up for a kill the turn after. You could almost consider binning Tendrils. I don't think they'll have a way to exile it. This is probably the best thing for us to do. We need to find an Underworld Breach, though. Yeah, so I like Citadel either better in a deck where you are like naturally ramping, or in something like this where like you're going to play up to late game where eventually you can play and kill. I have a Citadel, like a green-black Citadel list, which I think is quite good. I think the best thing to brainstorm here. We don't hit Breach. We definitely don't want more. I say we definitely don't want more Foundings. We could take more Foundings. We could take one more Founding. But we should shuffle, right? We can Founding the Glimpse instead of casting it, basically. Yeah. I'm not that worried about our life total right this second. They've not shown us any additional lands. I'll find a Watery Grave off of this to help us if we need to cast either more blue spells or Necropotence. And then we're gonna Founding Glimpse here, which doesn't help us find Underworld. Yeah, no. Do it this way. We've not milled through a Breach either. So what do we have in our yard? We have DT. Oh, okay. They're gonna concede because we milled through the Demonic Tutor, which means we can tutor back with we can Demonic Tutor basically off of the Founding from our graveyard. So hey, nice, sweet. And that. Okay, that was a little clunky. Our opponent also probably was stuck on land. That's part of the reason they conceded, but that's fair enough, I think. Awkward hand. We've got double Necro, which is redundant. We have Brainstorm to have a Tendril. I'm kind of relying on finding this. Is that a Lurrus? They're very likely on a Thoughtseize though. I think that keeping double Necro is probably okay. Thinking how I want to sequence these around. Yeah, we're gonna keep this. We'll see what happens. Because we can Brainstorm the Necropotence away. Or even, if they have a Thoughtseize here, we can maybe look to hide it. Horrible. Would imagine this is like Grixis or red-black. Yeah, okay. Yeah, our clock that game wasn't that impressive either, actually. The other thing about Founding is that if you don't have the spell to cast off of it, you can play it on the second mode straight away, but if you think you're going to need a couple of turns to set up, you can just play it on the first mode and not cast anything. Because the third mode, like Exile, from your graveyard, is really, really valuable. Sometimes you want to make sure that you've like done the most to like set up possible for it. Okay. We got a Ritual. What are we doing off the Ritual? Ritual and Lurrus. Alright. Let's go Watery Grave. I'm still like a little worried about getting Blood Moon, but like we can't do loads about that. We're gonna pay and Brainstorm. Okay, so we Necropotence next turn. I want to put one of these back. I'll put back. We want Necropotence at the bottom, so we draw the land. They get to draw. Okay. I fetch this Necropotence away. Find Blood Crypt. Do that. We've got our mana. Do we Founding? Oh, I think so. Because we want to use the most cards, right, in a way? Oh well, we're going to have to refill a bunch of cards. Put this on one, cast the Ritual off of it. Necropotence. So you can pay up to... So we could pay 4 and keep everything. But like, I don't mind discarding a land. I think paying like more than that is pretty reasonable. Let me pay 4 now, see what we draw into. Because this turn, Founding is going to mill us. Oh well. Our next turn, Founding is going to mill us, so we're going to basically set up to kill the turn after that. Kind of depending. We haven't found an Underworld Breach. We want to find that, but we want to know basically how much damage our opponent's going to have in play. We need to be a little careful about like Thoughtseize and that kind of thing. So, so this triggers on the saga triggers on our main base. So like if we flashback ritual with it, we need to be a little careful here. If we flashback ritual with it, then we do get to use the mana, which is nice. Cool. I'm gonna mill us for 4. Plus we hit. We skip our natural draw step. We have Breach in the graveyard. We have Strike at Breach in the graveyard, which like filters. So if they're at 20, black. Oh, we have DT as well. We should have to be really careful about mana. How do we want to best set up for that then? Brainstorm. Oh, this might be a throw. If they have Bowmasters, maybe die. Ooh, I should have thought about that a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna take a bunch of damage here. We found a ritual, which is good. Either of these black lands, assuming that we still have the swamp in our library, is going to be more valuable. He's back on top. Gosh. 1, 2, 3. So currently, we are dying to bolt, right? I need to find one more piece of damage. I'm basically thinking, do we need to ritual here to Tendrils now? I'm gonna do some nonsense. I'm saving Strike at Rich here. I could have used Strike it Rich to get an extra Stormcat in here. Maybe if... you want to pay though. So 5 currently we're taking. I think we're fine paying 3. So this is dead to double bolt. Pay this amount. Okay, this is pretty tight. We drew ritual. Okay, right. I wanna be pretty careful here. Make sure I don't goof this up. I definitely want a ritual out of the graveyard. Maybe I don't. They're at 10 though. They're gonna take our ritual, right? Surely. Gotta think. We also need to be a little bit careful and ball. That gets exiled. We can DT for. I put it to. Do they just have the second bolt? They just have the second bolt anyway. Okay, big sad. I don't think we had the win without drawing cards here, but it'd be pretty close. We actually can't both ritual and DT. We could have ritual. Depends basically what we drew. Okay. Alright. Well, next one. Okay. Super close. Got a bit unfortunate not just finding the breach there, I think, given the amount of cards we looked at, but fine. It's a good list up for us to keep. A weird one. I want red-black here, right? I'm basically going to set us up to turn to Necropotence. Just strike a rich on 1. It's a little underwhelming, but like, hey. Can't complain too much. to find a watery grave here. I like. This is where they follow up with like, I don't know. I'm gonna end up getting a blood moon somehow. We've paid a lot of life, so that's the other down. That is the there is a downside to Necropotence. We'll see. We'll see. I don't mind discarding a brainstorm here, so I'm gonna pay an extra. Ritual glimpse down. We are once again looking to find an Underworld Breach. Or we actually miss it. I had a looting. Happy. Do you want to brainstorm here? 1, 2, 3. Oh well. 4 Tendrils. We don't have a way through filth. Yeah. We can at least see what we draw here. Another 2 land. These go away. Are annoying. Once again, dead to life. Oh gosh. Hmm. One, two, three, 4. Then next time we're founding for draws. Oh, I hate this. Can't cast brainstorm. You try and fade the lightning bolt? I just don't think we can. I think what else kills us? Does another copy of Bowmasters kill us? What are our odds if we founding? Oh, is this actually sick? Not that sick. I'm cooking. That's for sure. We'll see if this buys us some time, really. It lets us refuel off of Necro. It's the only saving grace. We only need one, like, mini pop-off to win the game now. Yeah. Not that you set at the bolt. 4, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Let's see where we are. Land. Looting is dead. Past in Flames isn't quite alive. We have an Underworld Breach. Okay. See what we draw. I at one point when I was messing around in Historical Balance did hate it. Hate my life. Okay, so the breach is getting taken here. Surely. He gets exiled as well, unfortunately. Past in Flames is tempting. If we draw into a swamp, maybe. I say maybe. We're still in a pretty rough shape. We're into 9. Problem is we can't like draw cards to bolt us. We're at 6. I don't draw. Glimpse us, hope to find Wait, yeah, we flashed back the Dark Ritual as well. Haha. We're not actually buying another draw step. The thing to remember. I think we risk it. If we cast this, we take 3. We cast this. Okay, so if we. Okay. If we brainstorm, then we can't fetch. That's not good enough. He's got exile. We have a Pastor. We have a Tendrils. They're on 6. So these resolve. At this point, we can fetch and shock. But then we can't do anything else. We can brainstorm, but then we're doing nothing else. We need to like literally brainstorm into perfect. We're going to one-off of this. Alright, we give it a shot. We hit. Well, can't use either of these. Right? Wishful thinking. There we get to 1. It's the only problem with us ping. Yeah. I think sad. Maybe we could try and wait a turn there, but the thing is that we can't wait a turn. Our situation's not changing. We don't have a draw step. Tough, but close. Okay, that was another super close match. Oh, yeah, we had our them having the Inquisition there was super awkward. This is a pretty interesting hand as well. A lot of setup, but you're kind of relying on Faithless Looting to kind of draw us into relevant stuff. You have Forces to defend. That's probably a Releris over there. We're pretty awkward keeping this. Like we have a Tendrils, but I think we can send this back. Okay, I'll keep 6 here. I want to keep that. I want to put a land back. I'm gonna put Wooded Foothill. Yeah, it's worse than Polluted Dye in general. It's gonna only find. Well, actually, with the water, anyway, only find Steam Vents and Ragavan is a card that can punish us quite a lot. So we have. Part of the reason I kept this like this is so that we could just discard the passive flame if we forgot about it. All looting. Think I want a looting here. Us seeing the most cards enables us to win the game at this. We can sneak a Thoughtseize in later on. I don't think there's something they can do to really just mess us over right this second. That's given the Ragavan and the time framing, we maybe just, especially things like that on Blood Crypt, but okay, fine about it. We'll see. I'm trying to think like what the worst thing they can hit off in Ragavan is Necropotence. Actually, that is the worst thing they can hit off Ragavan. They get the treasure to cast it on this turn as well. I think it's a refill the hand stream. If they're playing Grixis, and their like next line is like a Steam Vent, so we're in a bit more. Try and get rid. Now that we're not doing it on turn 1 to enable turn 2 Necro, you can hold this for like Storm count. Goyf is a card that we're pretty good at enabling, unfortunately. But we'll see. Death Right is a lot of pressure. So they're on Junt. Okay. Tendril. We need cards pretty quick. I maybe do want the mana in play, strike it rich. If you've got Underworld Breach, it's not the worst to have it in the graveyard either. Gosh. I don't know how much we're going to get to Necropotence if we get to Necropotence. But we're going to try. I'm going to cast this. There are a lot of moving pieces in the deck, I'll be honest. Because we're using kind of Glimpse to find and enable Underworld Breach and kind of let us do our Storm thing. You've seen we've been able to like Storm for about like 5-6 pretty easily. But without any of the tutors and like some of the other rituals. Oh, the other maybe if we've got like Striker Rich in the deck, we can look at it's an enabler for Beseech the Mirror. Is Diabolic Tutor pleb? We've not had time in the games that we've played here. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. This can do. There's plenty of instances targets. Death Rite is actually a pretty bit of a problem the way that this is going as well. Bolt us. Oh, actually, it isn't a sorcery in the grave. An instant in the grave. Okay, they've attacked though. Death Rite down. Gonna hit Tendrils. They can cast that. Okay, no attack on Tendrils. We're at 6. We need to do something now. Okay. Alright, let's chuck some stuff at a wall, see what sticks. So if I go untap Blood Crypt. Red. I don't think I have anything I want to use blue for right now. We could got treasures for later anyway. Then if I breach. Right, it's tapped down. We strike it rich. But I think I want to cast this past him first. If we use a land drop, maybe we cast this first. We need to find a dark ritual. Get the lands out. Let's see. Yeah, we can't. The pain. Yeah, we can strike a Richard, but that's not good. Alright, okay. Oh, not quite getting there. Not quite getting there. Alright. Match number 4, I guess it is. And these have been a little bit tough. The first one we managed to set up a kill, like quite succeeded. The second two we kind of lost getting aggroed out or kind of just getting important cards discarded and dying too soon. This hand has a lot going for it. We're going to keep it. I need to work out what we're doing with it. So, at the minute we are founding no blue source. With DT lying around. Cast isn't going to filter things out. I'm probably just going to discard these given where we are. There's no guarantee we'll be able to find a red source for this Faithless Looting. They're looting as well. Den of the Bugbear implies something aggressive. And given Faithless Looting, there could be on. Okay, Phoenix. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's before this going to land, or we could just DT here. Demonic Tutor for land is like a good meme. I'm not sure I want to be doing it. We probably have so next to the. They're probably gonna have. Did they discard? Not no, yeah, they discarded one. Probably not gonna die like immediately. We need some guesswork if we don't do anything. You can also DT for Dark Ritual. That seems like the actual play, given that we have a breach. Worst comes to worst, we can just drop Necropotence next turn and draw cards. Okay. Looting. We got another Phoenix. That's Phoenix number 2. One of the reasons I don't want to go all in on like Necro this time. Okay, so now we have oh gosh. Tendrils. They're on 20. Founding. Running me the blue source and founding the way. We don't have enough cards in our graveyard to do tons yet. Which means I think we just want to go Dark Ritual Necro here. Draw some cards. And am I discarding off of this? Brainstorm and one of the cards we draw. Oh, I should have done this. This should be the other way around. Gee. Yeah, you can tell me. They have 2 Phoenixes currently. They could have lightning bolts in their deck. They could also end up discarding another Phoenix. Like 9-15. I don't want to like sit here playing around double lightning bolt Phoenix like perfect hand every. But a little careful. 1, 2, 3. 6. I have to find another 7 damage. Which... yeah, I just don't think I respect. Let's see enough cards. I think 13's a good number. We should play a land. Oh, I hate myself. Yeah, we should have done this before, but hey, here we are. Let's discard Brainstorm, and this passive flame is getting exiled. How fine is that? I'm not discarding one of the others. Triggers will exile passive flames. If we exile, next we have to exile graveyard to we have to exile our graveyard to okay, we hit another ritual. God, what's the name? My what crypt? Oh, jeez, Calamity errors. I'm keeping the Blood Crypt because it requires us to have less life until to use it. The actual, like, miserable thing, actually, they've done this here, which is giving us even more time, but I should have fetched for blue. Or discarded it and allow us to fetch for blue. So... we have a number of cards on our graveyard. Ritual 18. Can get enough mana there. Okay. Let's cast this. Put Underworld Breach into play. We currently have in our graveyard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, which lets us Dark Ritual twice. But not Demonic Tutor. Or we can Dark Ritual Demonic Tutor. Go ahead and Ritual once, because we definitely want to do this once. Selling cards. For and I actually think BT go through all our rituals. No. Gosh. Alright. Alright, this is a lot harder to do when explaining everything on camera. Okay. I think that's exactsies. Yeah. Nice. Okay. By the skin of the teeth, we clutched that one out. That was tough. We have double glimpse here, but we have turn 1 necro, which seems pretty great. This should let us find what we want. We're on the play as well, so I think we just roll with it. Gonna find a swamp just in case they are on some Blood Moon shenanigans. But hey. Dark Necro. We're not gonna kill on turn 2. Well, I would imagine we're not. Go ahead and draw back up to 7. Alright. See what we get. Yeah, I thought I punted when I didn't cast Faithless Looting. Not casting the Faithless Looting first that last game was such a throw, because it means we had loads less cards. We would actually have more cards in our graveyard. An extra 2 cards in our graveyard to feed into the Underworld Breach. We did also hit Breach here, which is pretty nice, to say. Even since a Ragavan. Yeah. Alright, now I'm looking for like a ritual. My turn. Hold the Breach for now. I want to just drop one of these glimpses into our graveyard. I'm just going to find the Steam Vents. That makes sense. Glimpse, I'll see what we hit here. We hit Ritual. Yeah, there's a ritual there. We have a ritual from before. We have... Okay, cool. If we had a way to filter mana, being able to like glimpse to power out, to power Breach is really, really nice. So, just check here. And how many extra cards we've been to play. And how much pressure we're under. It's likely our opponent is playing things like Counterspell and Swapist, which is tough. If we can find like a Thoughtseize, that'd be really nice. And maybe should have looked to draw some cards. A little bit more. At least they're unlikely to slam that. You think we're gonna get another turn? Not if they're passing here with mana up. Well, no, sorry. I don't think we're gonna get another turn with the. Oh, I'm with Dad this turn. We finally play it's a counterspell deck. It's the game we don't find like a Thoughtseize. Double bolt is 8 plus dragon, but they can have triple bolt. They can have quad bolt here. That would already dead. Dumps me. I'd like them to use some piece of interaction to stop this. That'd be nice. That'll make me feel better about myself. I would like them not to have interaction for the Underworld Breach. Counterspell now is fine. First tap. Let's pay down to 9. Yeah. If they have 3 bolts, they can have it. It's fine. We need to be a little careful at fetching here. Depending on how they tap out, whether we actually fetch off of the Waterfoot Hills. We could also maybe just like Sent Injury, but we can't double Underworld Breach and have the mana left. Yeah, stuff. They're really not committing. I think that they're probably just going to be like, I've got my counterspell, so can't do anything. That Breach might actually be us dead if they have the right cards. Oh no. Okay, because Waterfoot Hills fuels the Underworld Breach. If they have a lightning bolt to go bolt, 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 if they can bolt 3 times here, we're just gone. Okay, Ledger Shredder. Fair enough. They have Spell Pierce. We can maybe pay for Spell Pierce. Okay, they're gonna have double blue. They're gonna have the counter spell mana. Discard a Swiftspear as well, so they're definitely looking to hold stuff up. They got 2 basically draws there, looking for a counter spell. We're on 7, so I'm pretty... Oh, if they have double bolt... no guts, no glory. Imagine they have double bolt. That might make sense. This kind of lets us pay for spell pierce, not like in a really good way. Oh, that resolved. Okay. Right. Let's try and Dark Ritual then. Exile the glimpses. One of the glimpses. Fine for now. Ledger Shredder Trigger. Alright, we have black mana. I think given we have black mana now, we can try and glimpse ourselves. Let's try and glimpse from hand. Okay, yeah, there's just no way. Alright. Ritual... Go again. On... Sorry if this is a little bit slow. It... 6. Roll one more time. On 3. Yeah, I guess if all this is rolled, there's nothing they actually have. I'm gonna say they're gonna get Tendrils and then Tendrils again for their lifesteal. That's so good. Nice. Alright, I'll see you in the post game. Alright, let's talk about the deck a little bit. We went 3-2 overall? Yeah, so we ended on a positive record. We won 1 and then lost 2 and then won 2. It's kind of round things out. This is the best Storm Shell that I've been able to come up with so far. It feels clunky with like Founding, Glimpse, Breach. You kind of do need like, hey, you need to farm Healthline Breach. There are some parts of the deck that don't work super well together. Necropotence, like the Faithful Suitings. But overall, like pretty powerful shell. It's a tough one because you have to kind of like consider like, oh, I can play against aggro, I can play against control. If you're playing against control, you'd want like a bunch more hand disruption. If you're playing against aggro, you're like, oh, I want some fatal pushes here maybe instead. Is tricky. Has like a bit of a failure rate. Necropotence is a heck of a magic card. Sequencing, like the deck is like a little tricky to play, and like, hey, you have to kind of make some like, alright, let's kind of not gamble, but like kind of like hedge one way or the other with some of the decisions. In terms of weak cards, Strike It Rich is maybe the weakest card on the main deck, but I think it's a bit of a necessary evil. They help you to build Storm Count. It does also enable the turn 2 Necro, which is not as good as Dark Ritual, but it's the closest thing otherwise. It's like a ritual we can do over a couple of turns. It's one of the best things at letting us set up like Past in Flames, though I also think Past in Flames is a bit of one of the weaker cards. I'm really happy with most of this. It's also possible that you just don't want to bother with any of the hand disruption in the main deck. You want to include like a couple of fatal pushes, because you're going to see a lot of cards, so maybe you'll be able to find one if you need one. Deal with problematic things like Orcish Bowmasters. Maybe that's one thing you could look at. And again, I talked a little bit in the intro about Mizzix Mastery and Mize Desire. Mizzix Mastery costs triple red, which is just super, super hard. It is a card that interacts well with like the Glimpse and Unthinkable Plan in general. It's one card that like, alright, if you're like playing like a ritual into like casting Mizzix Mastery and then targeting like a Mize Desire and getting like a few triggers off, maybe you manage to hit the right combinations of things and get there. It's just a bit much. It's making a shell that's already pretty clunky even clunkier. But I think there is another like deck there you could maybe look at. Yeah. I wonder if we're ever going to get more rituals, is the other thing. Like, I think we have Dark Ritual. If we get like Cabal Ritual, that immediately makes the deck like a ton better. If we get like Cabal Ritual also enables things like you could just play like if you get like a cheap reanimation spell, something like a Goryo's Vengeance and Exhume, or some way to what's the I remember the name of the one in Modern that gets used to bring back Archon. Anyway, yeah, to like enable you to like get Grisland to play and do like Tinfin style stuff, that'd be really sweet. Obviously, something like there's a bunch of cards that are like, oh, if they put this broken card into the format, that'd be really cool. Seething Song is the card that we're looking for to enable all the like Mizzix Mastery stuff to be like super powerful. You could even have like a mono red Storm deck that just like has 4 Mighty Desires in it just for reasons. That would be really cool. Seething Song, Rite of Flame, all those cards are super busters, but would be really cool to have on Arena. But yeah, this is where I'm at the minute. Very much like looking for input and like looking for suggestions. I think there's a pretty good shell here. Again, a bit clunky, and maybe some things we can iron out. And it's also the deck that, like, depending on how much like Storm Hate, Ruler Lore type effects, like Deafening Silence, that people are running in their sideboards, like maybe it's a deck that plays better in best of 3 as well, like where you can adjust like for the different matchups, have the fatal pushes where you need them, have more hand disruption, control, some of the cool stuff, some alternate things. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting. Yeah, this is where I am at the moment. Deck is super sweet, so much fun to play as well. Would definitely recommend it. It is like the format has bankrupted me of wildcards. I've spent more money on Arena trying to get stuff together for Timeless than I have in forever, I feel like. Just because like cards like Dark Ritual, like, even like Inquisition of Kozilek's are rare, these are rares. Lightning Bolts are rare, all these cards are like uncommon in paper. Tendrils of Agony. They're just like, oh, these are rares here, because you can, and then obviously all the fetches are new and hey. But hey, it is super fun. Would recommend if you have the cards or fancy a, I don't know, it's like it's the Foil's a really weird place. It's got like some things that's like, oh, this is comparable to this modern deck. Oh, this is more comparable to the Legacy deck. Oh, these are cards that are like aren't legal in either of Legacy or Modern and are only legal in Vintage. So I was like, how do I evaluate this? It's really interesting. It's really fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share the video around, all that kind of stuff. I'd really appreciate it. 80% of you aren't subscribed, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace out. Happy New Year soon, TM.